The 2019 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, driven. The Chrysler Pacifica was introduced in 2016 as a replacement for the Chrysler Town Country, but it wasn't until 2017 that the Pacifica Hybrid was launched. As a model that only has a couple of years under its belt, the Pacifica is still relatively fresh on the market and is one of the few minivans that are still in production for the US market. What's even more interesting is the fact that Chrysler has managed to create its own little niche of sorts, as the Pacifica Hybrid, the model you see here, is the only hybrid minivan on the market. That means it doesn't have any prerequisite standard to live up to and is responsible for setting its own standard. With it competing against non-hybrid minivans, we have actually been very curious about how well it stacks up against the less sophisticated competition. Is the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid really worth buying in terms of fuel economy, comfort, and value? Is it a worth competitor for the new Honda Odyssey or nearly decade-old Toyota Sienna? Well, we managed to score a week with the Pacific Hybrid, and we set out to answer these questions and more. Here's what we learned after spending a week with the market's only hybrid minivan. Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid exterior design. The funny thing about the Pacific Hybrid is that Chrysler actually designates it as its own, standalone model, just enough to give the automaker a three-vehicle lineup that also includes the 300 and standard Pacifica. Be that as it may, there is absolutely nothing in terms of aesthetics that differentiates the Pacifica Hybrid from the standard Pacifica. Well, there are a few extra badges that denote its electrifying presence, but that's about it. There's no obscene design cues, extra trim, or anything of the like. For all intents and purposes, the Pacifica Hybrid is indistinguishable from the non-hybrid model. Whether it's good or bad, on the other hand, is still up for debate. One good thing about the common design between the hybrid and standard Pacifica is the fact that this minivan is rather attractive. Of course, I'd never go so far as to say that the Pacifica, in hybrid form or not, is sporty, but it does have a look that's easy on the eyes. The front end is rather symmetrical with gentle, smooth lines that connect the outer design elements to the grille and air dam in the middle. The headlights serve like eyes on the face of a graceful creature in that they aren't obtrusive and don't stick out. The contoured LEDs provoke a sense of sophistication, while the shiny dark trim in the radiator and grille overpower the little bit of chrome that might come off rubbing us in the wrong way otherwise. The hood feels a little too muscular for a minivan, but it's not so bad that it lends pain to the eyes, it just feels like a little too much. The wide fender flares up front help to make the Pacific Hybrid feel wider than it really is. It evokes a feeling of size in a good way. While we can commend Chrysler for keeping the front end of the Pacifica symmetrical, the same cannot be said for the side profile. The van has this weird, distorted, wedge-like design that might not be hard on the eyes but isn't exactly easy, either. From the side view, you can see just how sloped the nose is as it kinks upward from the angle of the windshield just a little bit. The angle peaks above the front doors, at which point the roof begins to slope downward. Usually, this would be okay, but at the same time, the design of the side glass and trim, as well as the overly pronounced bodyline below the waistline, almost makes it look like the van has a banana shape. It kind of does, but this look is emphasized more from this angle. Further, because of the design of the rear, from certain angles, the Pacifica feels oddly boxy and back yet off-balanced because of the wraparound rear quarters. The rear end of the Pacifica is
To read the full article, check the link in the description. If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.